bit. You are badass. It's a little bit of haters. Fast. It's a little bit. You are badass. It's a little bit of. You got a fast car.
What's going on, everybody? My name is D Machine, and I'm making a quick guide on the new patch. I don't even know what it is, 5.0.4 or something like that. The new patch right before Mr. Pandaria here, Pandaria, MOP, whatever you want to call it. Looking over the talents in the glyphs for Ret Paladins, specifically for PvP. Now, jumping right into the talents here, I really like what they did here with the talents. They simplified things from the way it was before. Looking at the top three choices here, we have basically movement speed increase choices. So the first one, the Pursuit of Justice, is kind of like a passive 15%. Long Arm of the Law is the 45% every time you judge. Speed of Light increases your movement speed by 70% on use. I like Long Arm of the Law. Speed of Light can be hodged or stunned or whatever, and then it's over, and then you don't have that cooldown for 45 seconds. Long Arm of the Law, we're judging a lot. We're having that 45% quite often. That's what I would go with for player versus environment. Or player versus player, excuse me. But even player versus environment, I think that that's the best. So looking at the next three choices here, we have stuns and slows, or basically just 2 stuns and a slow. So the first one is Fist of Justice. What it does is it basically reduces the cooldown of Hammer of Justice. Pretty cool. Probably better for arenas right now, but considering there is no arenas, I'm going with Burden of Guilt, which decreases the amount of movement speed by 50%. Really allows me to close that gap to my enemy and generate that holy power to do damage and to heal. So that's my favorite right now, is Burden of Guilt. Repentance is repentance, but you know, it's just not the same. Usable against demons, dragonkin giants, humanoids, and undead. So, and then there's Selfless Healer. Selfless Healer is what I think needed to happen. Now, this was kind of brought in and kind of taken away and kind of brought in a million times as a Ret Paladin, but I'm glad that they brought it back. I think they needed to. So what it is every single time you judge, it decreases the casting and the mana cost of your Flash of Light each judgment. You do it 3 times, stacks up to 3 times, and it's an instant Flash of Light, and it costs no mana. Very nice, very nice. Increasing our off heals and our heals on ourselves by a lot, which we did have a lot of off heals and things like that, but you know, more is always better. Eternal Flame, it basically makes your Word of Glory into a heal over time. It's pretty cool. It's just not as good as Selfless Healer for us. Sacred Shield, also really good, still just not as good as Selfless Healer. Now the third, and then the fourth row here, we got Hand of Purity, which decreases the periodic effect by 70%. We have periodic damage, excuse me. We have the Unbreakable Spirit, which kind of slowly brings back our bubble or land hands or whatever, which is nice considering in like an arena environment that would make our reset button come back quicker. But you know what, it really doesn't trump this one, which gives us 2 hands of sacrifice, 2 hands of freedom, and 2 hands of protection, which are huge. Those are phenomenal. And then on this final one right here, this final row, we have Holy Avenger, which I think this is the best one out of the 3. Increases your damage by 30% and your healing by 30%. It generates 3 charge of holy power and generates 3 charge of holy power for the next 18 seconds. So you know, the constant amount of holy power you get back is good for off healing, and it's healing for 30% more, and it's doing more damage. I think that that's the best out of the 3, considering this one reduces the cooldown by only 50%. It does make your wings last longer, but you know, that doesn't, I think that Holy Avenger is still much better. Then we have the Divine Purpose, which is kind of like a proc, which I heard a lot of good things about. But for player versus environment, for surviving, or player versus player, excuse me, for surviving, I think Holy Avenger is definitely your best bet. I think it is your best bet. I think it's definitely your best bet. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Go for Holy Avenger. You won't be mad that you did. Now, looking at the glyphs. So the 3 glyphs that I chose were Templar's Verdict, Immediate Truth, and Word of Glory. Now, why I chose Templar's Verdict is that 10% less damage is a very big difference. I took it off, I took it on, I took it off, I put it back on, I took it off, put it back on for a whole bunch of duels, and there's a huge difference, especially versus melee targets. I think that is a great glyph for surviving, which is a big thing for us Ret Paladins to do right now. Immediate Truth, it makes that tick into 30% immediately. Immediate Truth. I think that's the best bet for right now. I mean, the other options are like Avenging Wrath, which is 1% of your health when it's active every 2 seconds. Pretty good. Not as good as the Immediate Truth, I don't think. Divine Storm heals you for 5%. You know, you're going to be using your Holy Power for Templar's Verdict anyway. I don't think it's a good one. Double Jeopardy, more PvE. You're not going to be tab targeting into other players very often. Flash of Light, 7 seconds is way too short a window to utilize. Harsh Words, you're going to be healing with that so often that I think that having Harsh Words is going to be useless. Turn Evil, 100%, no. So, I mean, that is definitely the best choice of what we have right now. And then we have Word of Glory, which increases the damage by 3% every single time you use it. Last 6 seconds. Definitely a good glyph. 3% is a lot if you think about it that constantly. So then the minors are little fun things. Do whatever you want with that. I think the mounting up with kings is pretty cool when you use your paladin mount. So those are my glyphs, and I'm sure that these are going to change as time goes on, things like that. But as for right now, at level 85, looking at Mr. Pandaria soon, I think that these are the best of the best. So looking at your stat priorities, they didn't really change that much, but they did change. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is PvP power. PvP power is a step down from strength. Now, you need to be hit capped. That's priority before you start getting PvP power, but PvP power is freaking sweet. Get as much PvP power as you can. Strength first, then PvP power. After that, it's Mastery. Mastery is going to be priority over crit nowadays, just because we have the Selfless Healer, we have these off heals, we don't need more crit to get those huge off heals. We have enough survivability. Get more of that damage. Get more Mastery. So, PvP Strength, PvP Power, Mastery, then Critical, and then Haste. But don't get Haste. Just go for crit and Mastery. And make sure you're hit capped. Now, hit has changed. You need a lot less hit to be capped at level 85 now. I've reforged everything and I still can't get under that cap. So just make sure that level 85 is at 0 and you'll be fine. Other than that, you can see my enchants and things like that in my other video. None of that really changed. Your movement speed has changed, so I would recommend getting some enchants that has some movement speed increase. I mean, yeah, that judgment 45% is really cool, but definitely get that 8% increase instead of just a straight mastery, which I need to go change. But yeah, that's it. Oh, and of course resilience is a priority too. Resilience, but you know, when you're fully decked out, or at least every single piece has resilience on it, you can start focusing on the other stats. So that's everything I got. If you have any questions or anything that you disagreed with me about, just please let me know, because it's going to make me a better player too. Alrighty, thank you.